class. So today we'll discuss about the National Monitoring Committee for Rehabilitation and Resettlement. As we discussed in the previous class, that the appropriate government, either it is a central government or maybe a state government. So here based on the projects, either it is a central government or a state government project, the government has to take care of the project and they have to provide the necessary things for that particular project. And as in India, there are many projects that is between the interstates. That project is for the development of two or more states. In such type of projects, this National Monitoring Committee has to be formed to control and to communicate and to do the necessary things for the particular committee. Here it starts with section 48 subsection 1, that is establishment of National Monitoring Committee for Rehabilitation and Resettlement. So here the National Committee, the central government has to appoint a committee to monitor the committee for the rehabilitation and resettlement of the people who are supposed to be displaced from that place where the project is going to be happen. Here under subsection 1 of section 48, the central government, whatever is the necessary for the national or interstate projects, to constitute a national committee for monitoring and reviewing and implementation of rehabilitation and resettlement scheme or plans under this act. So here it is necessary that a committee has to be formed with number of members, and the committee has to review, monitor and implement the particular scheme of the project. It may be for the interstate or for more than one states the project will be implemented. And section 2, it speaks about the committee may, beside having representation of the concerned ministers. So here where the national committee, the concerned department minister has to be constitute the committee, and along with the ministers, the experts in that particular field has to be associate with the minister to do the project successfully. Here if it is an interstate project, the central government minister and the state government minister to the particular department, they should be there in the committee. Along with the ministers, the experts in that particular field are supposed to be associate along with the ministers. So here, for example, if a project is done in the interstate like Jammu and Kashmir or with the Delhi, then along with the ministers, even the particular subject or particular field minister should be there. For example, take as forestry department, the project is with the forest, then the forest affairs minister should be the part of the committee. Like that, whatever the field is, take example of mining or industry or etc. So like the mining minister or the industrial minister should be part of that particular committee. And even the experts who are working in the same field should be associate with the committee to do the project successfully. Then the procedure to be followed by the committee. So here there are a lot of procedures to be followed by the committee, and the allowances payable to the experts shall be such as may be prescribed. Here, when a project is done with the interstate, there is a lot of procedure to do the projects. Like first they have to get the blueprint of the work, then they have to take permission with the concerned departments of government, and after getting permission and license to do the project, they have to appoint the committee. Along with the committee, the experts will be working with the ministers and other persons. So these experts has to be paid allowance or remuneration or salary that is prescribed according to the act for that particular project. That allowance should be provided to the experts as it is prescribed. So the procedure has to be followed. So without the procedure, they should not do any work in that particular project. As you all seen how the metro work is going on, like they make clearance of the road with one side, then the construction of the metro work will be done in the place. So like that, they should take precautions of all the necessary things with the project before doing the project. So the experts will give their idea to implement the necessary things to the project. Then the central government shall provide officers and other employees to the committee. So here the central government shall provide officers and other employees to the committee necessary for its efficient functioning. So here the committee is formed by the central government, and the committee includes the minister of that particular department, then experts in that particular field, along with that the managerial work, and for the other works these government employees has to be provided by the state government. So along with the employees, the necessary persons who is required to the project, they should be provided by the government for the committee to work efficiently. Like for every committee, from the committee members like minister up to peon or the attender is necessary to do the work. In between there are a lot of persons comes in the project, like the engineers, auditors, then financiers, banks, corporations, then many government departments which is concerned with that particular project or which falls in that particular area. So all these persons are required to assist the committee to do the work efficiently and successfully. So here each and every person of the committee has to be work with the prescribed procedure what is the government is provided for them. And even for the government officers and for the employees, the government will provide the allowance or remuneration for their work. Then section 49 speaks about reporting requirements. So section 49 speaking about reporting requirements, the state and union territories shall provide all the relevant information on the matters covered under this act to the National Monitoring Committee in a regular and final and timely manner, and also as and when required. So here periodically or when it is required by the government, the committee has to be provide the report according to the work which is done in the field. So here as per the government direction, the committee has to prepare the report of the particular work in that particular project. So timely they have to submit that report to the government about the successful working of the project. Here as well, like the national committee, even the state committee has to be formed for the project or the work done in the state limit. So this is establishment of state monitoring committee for rehabilitation and resettlement. So here where a project is done in the state level, then the state has to form a committee for the rehabilitation and resettlement. Here the rehabilitation and resettlement means either paying the compensation to the person for acquiring the lands from the private persons, or as an alternative the other place may be given to the persons. So look into the matter that making survey into the property which is recognized by the committee to do the project, and then fixing the market value rate and the percentage of compensation to that particular extent of property. So like all these things has to be done by the committee. So again, for the national level committee, as we discussed, when the project is with the interstate, then they have to make a committee for the national level. Here now we are discussing the state level monitoring committee for the rehabilitation and resettlement. Here under section 50 subsection 1, it speaks the state government shall constitute a state monitoring committee. So here the state government shall constitute a state monitoring committee for reviewing and monitoring the implementation of rehabilitation and resettlement schemes or plans under this act. Here the state government committee also doing the same work like the national committee, that is reviewing, monitoring and implementation of the rehabilitation and resettlement plans. As we discussed, that the collector will be doing the work of the acquiring land and paying compensation and reviewing and even the enhancement of compensation or solving the dispute of the land. So after this, the committee will be reviewing the project and monitoring how the work is going on, and they implement the necessary things or the particular thing which is required to the project, and they look into the matter of the rehabilitation and resettlement according to the scheme of plan in the state level according to section 1. Section 2, the committee means the state committee may, besides having representative of the concerned ministers, as we discussed in the national committee, the particular department minister should be there. Here also the same thing, that in the committee, beside having representatives of the concerned ministers and departments of the state government, associate with it eminent expert from the relevant field. So as we discussed earlier, like the same thing here also, the particular department ministers and even the department employees should be there in the state government to associate with it the eminent experts from the relevant field. So here the minister will be there, along with the minister the departmental employees will be there in the work, along with them the necessary employees. The necessary employees, it may be a clerical work or a attender or a sweeper, from officer level to the attender level. Each and every officer is required, like drivers, truck drivers, car drivers or machine operators, like many persons required, like engineers, even in taking hygiene implementation in that particular field. So these people should associate with the ministers and department to do the work successfully. Then subsection 3, the procedure to be followed by the committee. Here subsection 3 speaks about the procedure to be followed by the committee, and the allowances payable to the experts shall be such as may be prescribed by the state. So here for the plan or for the rehabilitation and resettlement, a plan is prepared by the engineers and that is approved by the committee. Then according to that the work will be done. So here for the work this employees is given by the government, and even experts also there to do the work, and there is a prescribed procedure to do the work. With following all the prescribed procedures, they have to do the work, and the allowance to these employees, allowance either it is a remuneration or it may be considered as a salary, that will be payable to the person as prescribed by the government. And for every act of that particular project, the things which is happening in the project has to be followed with the procedure which is prescribed in the act. Then subsection 4, the state government shall provide such officers and other employees to the committee. Then subsection 4 speaks about the state government shall provide such officers and other employees to the committee as may be necessary for its efficient functioning. So the state government should provide the officers and other employees which is required for the smooth functioning of the committee. So here, as the case may be, the number of employee, how much is expected to do the work in that particular project or field. So the government has to provide such number of employees to the work. So this is this state monitoring committee and the central monitoring committee is a little similar with the same. Here only the departments of differ from national committee to state committee. In the national committee members will be there, that particular department ministry. But in the state level monitoring committee, the state level minister will be there. The remaining procedures and other things are same in the national committee and in the state committee. So here, after the national committee and state committee, this is apportionment of compensation. Apportionment of compensation. Here section 75 speaks about particulars of apportionate to be specified. So here as we discussed, for a particular project, either it is a national level or interstate level or within the state, so the private property is required by the government for that particular project. So while acquired the lands or the buildings from different individuals or owners of the property, and that is the compensation fixed by the collector with the discussion or with the consultation of the owners of the private property. If all the persons, there are several persons will be in the particular locality having their separate property or entity. So if the persons agree in the apportionment of the compensation, then that will be specified in the award by the collector, and it become a conclusive evidence of the correctness of the apportionment. Here, as we discussed in the earlier classes, that the land and the property is not the same. Sometimes it is a empty land without any construction, or some lands are with a constructed a ordinary house, and some buildings will be multiple storied building in that particular locality. So while paying the compensation according to the construction, they have to pay the compensation, but the land value will be similar in that particular place as the market value is same within the locality. So the construction may differ from building to building or an empty land. So for the empty land, only the value of the land money will be paid to the person. If there is a construction, according to the construction, the valuable things or the attachments which is used in the construction, according to that the compensation has to be fixed. So like this, when the discussion between the collectors and the owners of the properties, if they accepted with the compensation that is fixed by the collectors, and the people are, if satisfied, then that will be finalized as an award of compensation, and that will become a conclusive evidence to the correctness of this apportionment. Apportionment means the share of a particular person in the compensation that is paid to the person. Section 76, that is dispute as to apportionment. So here dispute as to apportionment means when the amount of compensation has been settled, if any dispute arises as to the apportionment of the same or any part thereof, or as to the persons to whom the same or any part thereof is payable, the collector may refer such disputes to the authority. So here, while making the apportionment of the compensation, if there any dispute arise, either a portion of the property or a part of the property, then that dispute will be referred to the authority by the collector. Here the dispute may arise, for example, sometimes a property is there and more than one person is claiming the ownership of that particular property. Then there is a dispute that who is the owner of that particular property. Then that has to be declared either by the authority or by a competent court. So till the time this compensation cannot be paid to the person, or in some other cases where the amount of compensation fixed by the collector, the owner of the property is not satisfied with the amount, then they may demand more or any other allowances. Under such circumstances, it is considered that there is a dispute with the property in the project, or the owner of the property is not willing to give the property, or such disputes will be considered by the collector, and the same thing will be transferred to the authority to look into the matter. So here the next thing is payments. So here section 77 speaks about payment of compensation or deposit of same in authority. So here we discussed as where the private lands are acquired by the authority, by the government, so they should be paid compensation for the land. Here section 77 speaks about payment of compensation or deposit the same in authority. So here subsection 1 speaks about on making an award under section 30, the collector shall tender payment of the compensation awarded by him to the persons interested, entitled thereto, according to the award, and shall pay it to them by depositing the amount in their bank accounts, unless prevented by someone or more of the contingencies mentioned in subsection 2. So here, as the private property is acquired by the authority and the compensation award also finalized by the collector after the discussion with the owners of the land, in under such circumstances the compensation amount has to be deposited in the particular account of the landowners, that the particular locality people, so their accounts has to be the compensation amount has to be deposited in the account. So unless if there is any dispute regarding the ownership or regarding the sharing in the compensation, under such circumstances this amount cannot be deposited into the account of the owners of the property. So here subsection 2 of section 77 speaks about if the person entitled to compensation shall not consent to receive it, or if there be no person competent to alienate the land, or if there be any dispute as to the title to receive the compensation or as to the apportionment of it, the collector shall deposit the amount of the compensation in the authority to which a reference under section 64 would be submitted. Here, when the collector is ready to pay the compensation, so in case there is no competent person to alienate the land. Competent person means the person who's in the possession of the property doesn't enjoy any ownership of the property to sell, or a minor child may be there. The minor child is not entitled to sell and there is no legal guardian for the minor child, like other circumstances where there is no person to sell the property. Such circumstances, the compensation amount will be deposited with the authority. Or the second thing, where there is a dispute in receiving the compensation amount. For example, take an example that the property stands in the name of father and the father is no more. Their sons, the 3 sons are there, so they are fighting with each other for the compensation to get the compensation apportionment. So they got a dispute between themselves. So under such circumstances also the compensation amount cannot be deposited in the account. And the other thing, that where is the dispute regarding the title, that is the ownership of the property, then the compensation amount will not be deposited in the account of the person, but it will be deposited with the authority. So further, this amount will be utilized by the authority as and when it is necessary or when it is required. Here, section 78 speaks about investment of money deposited in respect of lands belonging to person incompetent to alienate. So here, the person who is incompetent to alienate the property, so in such cases the payment will not be made to the person and that will be deposited with the authority. And according to section 78 subsection 1 class 1, the amount will be deposited with the authority. So the compensation will not be paid to the person who's entitled to get the compensation but is incompetent, is holding the property, or means is having the possession but is not having the title of the property. In such case, the amount will be deposited with the authority under subsection 1 of section 70. And according to subsection 2 and class A of section 78, order the money to be invested in the purchase of other lands to be held under the like title and conditions of ownership as the land in respect of which such money shall have been deposited was held. So here the amount which is deposited with the authority according to section 1, section 78 subsection 1, that amount will be used according to subsection 2 class A for purchasing of some other similar land with the money, and that will be kept as the same ownership with the person who's belonging to the particular property where the compensation has to be paid to the person. And class 2 subsection 2 and section 78 speaks about if such purchase cannot be effected forthwith, then in such government of other approved securities as the authority concerned shall think fit. So if there is no possible to purchase such other property with a similar thing, so such amount will be deposited with the account of the authority, and this amount will not be utilized in any other manner and it will be deposited with the authority itself. Then section 79 speaks about investment of money deposited in other cases. So here section 79 speaks about investment of money deposited in other cases when any money shall have been deposited in the authority concerned under this act for cause other than the cause mentioned in 78. So here the authority may, on the application of any part interested or claiming an interest in such money, order the same to be invested in such government or other approved securities as it may think proper, and paid in such manner as it may consider will give the parties interested therein the same benefit from it as they might have had from the land in respect. So here, if the money is kept in the account of the authority and it is interested person or can make an application before the authority that they want the money for certain other purposes, if the government thinks fit, and then that amount can be transferred for that particular work or that particular person as the government thinks fit. And section 80, that is the payment of interest. In the above cases, that according to section 78 and 79, if the amount is there with the authority itself, means the amount is deposited with the authority and it is not claimed, under such circumstances a 9% of interest should be added to the existing money in the account, and from the date of the award till the date the compensation amount is paid to the person, the number of days or months, the 9% interest should be calculated and that amount should be paid to the beneficiary. So this is the overall thing about the state and central monitoring committee.